So, a couple of weeks ago, we were treated to the long-awaited reveal of a brand new Bleach game for consoles and PC. Bleach Rebirth of Souls, a visually stunning fighter that looks set to depict the story of Bleach from the very beginning through to potentially the end of the Rancor arc. And yeah, while I would love the Thousand Year Blood War arc to get some representation here, truth be told, I'm just grateful this exists at all right now. The initial trailer showed off some familiar faces while teasing the combat that's presumably at the core of the game. And today, Bandai Namco has released a gameplay overview trailer presumably designed to teach us about the game's mechanics and systems. Now, for a lot of people, what's shown here might be make or break. For myself, I confess I'm a little easier to please. I'm very happy to see Bleach getting this kind of long overdue recognition, and to receive what looks to be a decently big budget console title after over a decade in waiting is very encouraging. Plus, I'm admittedly not much of a fighting game connoisseur. I'm mostly coming at this game from the perspective of a Bleach fan first, so take from that what you will. Now, this isn't as long a trailer as I was perhaps expecting it to be, clocking in at just over 3 minutes. It is not much longer than the original reveal trailer, but I'm still optimistic that we'll learn a lot. Could we get the game's release date here, perhaps? I'm not sure. To be honest, it feels like this game is getting fairly heavily promoted even this early on, with the trailers appearing on numerous outlets and channels across YouTube, including PlayStation's own, so I imagine it might get a dedicated release date trailer later on down the line, unless I'm totally wrong and there is one here today. So far, what excites me the most is the potential for the character roster and just how amazing it could be with such a rich cast of characters to dive into. However, as of yet, so far the character roster remains almost a total mystery, and there are even questions circulating surrounding whether series mainstays such as Orihime will actually be playable. I'd love for this trailer to clear some of that up, and I wouldn't say no to a few surprises either, such as showing off a few other characters, but we'll have to see. So, without further ado, I'm going to watch this trailer for the first time right now and discuss it from there. No doubt we'll catch the trailer a couple of times in an effort to not miss anything before breaking it down properly. Make sure to let me know down in the comments. What are you hoping for from Rebirth of Souls, and which characters do you want to see in the roster the most? Right, here we go. Let's take a look at the gameplay overview trailer. Right, let's see what they've got in store for us. Maybe we'll get some more story mode visuals, cutscenes. I'd love to see more, really, of anything they've got. I do like the logo. I said that last time as well. I think the logo's really nice and neat. Wow, this is an epic soundtrack. Okay, this is Zangetsu talking. This is his speech from the battle against Kenpachi, I think. Wow, I think the visuals for the story mode look really, really nice. There's Zangetsu. Cool. Is that Blut? Is that a reference to Blut? Oh no, it's the Shinigami, it's the ribbons. That definitely looked like a reference to Blut, though. Hinting at Ichigo's Quincy heritage. There's definitely not Thousand Year Blood War in this game, so I don't know what they're doing there. This looks really nice, I've got to be honest. I love how this looks. Sokyoku Hill at sunset, that's really awesome. Wow, okay, there's the UI. I probably should be listening to this. Your opponent's Konpaku. Isn't Konpaku just the spirit body? Okay, the way they're using Konpaku sounds kind of weird, but I like the UI. It all looks very, very neat, very nice, very slick. And the visuals are so good. Ichigo has his Thousand Year Blood War source material accurate Reiatsu. Okay. See, that just looks really cool, man. Senbon Zakura looks awesome. Senbon Zakura Kageyoshi. There's a lot going on in this trailer. Definitely going to watch it again a second time. There seems to be quite a bit going on. It seems to be quite an in-depth fighter. There are quite a lot of systems involved here. Again, my knowledge is fairly limited when it comes to actual, you know, hardcore fighters. My favorite fighting game is Super Smash. This is cool. This seems to be in line with what I think we speculated during the reveal trailer, which is that you can transform as the fight plays out, which is awesome because it looks to me like they are really playing into the spectacle of Bleach fights. I assume these kind of scene transitions, these cut scenes, like Ichigo appearing Byakuya, that's a story mode specific thing. Shukei Hakuteken, that looks cool. See, now this must be story mode, right? But I think it looks fantastic. I like the song as well. Visually, I think that's very, very good. Ending on the hollow mask. Now, of course, no release date. I'm telling you, I think it'll get a release date trailer. Okay, I need to watch it again, obviously, to really pick up on the mechanics. I like what I see, though. My initial reaction is that I like what I see. Visually, I'm still thinking it's very impressive. There's a lot to talk about, and also there's not as much as I was expecting there to be. No other characters outside of Ichigo and Byakuya. So, you know, there you go, I guess. Let's just roll it back again. It does kind of look to me like the gameplay is focused around this idea of progression through a battle, transforming, powering up, which my immediate thought is it does make me concerned for characters like Orihime who don't really have transformations. Though I think you could reasonably come up with something for everyone, even if she just, I don't know, uses more fairies or something. That's definitely a Blut reference. Obviously, it's going into Ichigo's Shinigami powers, the red ribbon, but it looks like it's blood dripping, and then it turns into the Blut line, so it's hinting at his Quincy heritage. But you know what would be really cool, right? I would take, because if this game does well, I imagine we'll get a sequel which might include, it should include Thousand Year Blood War arc. Presumably they are waiting for the anime to be over. But even if we got like Yuhab arc, that would be awesome. Okay, so it kind of looks like the game has a life system, which is the Konpaku. Everyone starts with 9 Konpaku, or lives. The Reishi gauge is your health, I think. They've got fancy Bleach terminology for everything, but there's health and there's lives. And then you've got this reverse bar down the bottom here, spiritual power gauge, and a reverse action. Is it a case of each character has their own set of special moves, essentially, and the reverse action and the spiritual power gauge lets you use those? Because Byakuya's appeared to be Senbon Zakura, the Shikai, and now this is presumably him using bankai because he no longer has a sword. I like that he can use Byakurai, and that's cool as well. Nice bit of Kido there. So in the last trailer, we saw the soul destruction and the number come next to it. That appears to be when you wipe out someone's lives, I think. And that's how many lives they lose. So, unless I'm mistaken, Byakuya took out 4 of Ichigo's Konpaku in one go there. The Senzai Q and some of the Seirete kind of looks a bit like a farmhouse. I don't know why, it just does. That's really cool, though. Like that shot of Ichigo coming in like that with his arm in front of his face, that's, again, straight out of the original chapters. So, again, I am kind of wondering how this works, because it does look like transformations and power-ups are a big part of this. A character like Byakuya has a ton of power-ups. Senbon Zakura appears to be his reverse action, or his spiritual pressure gauge move. I'm not entirely sure what that is. We'll run it again, but we'll just talk over it. But then he has Bankai, then he has Senkei. Maybe he has Gokei. There's no evidence of it here because he's not fighting Zamari, but maybe he has Gokei, and he has Shukei Hakuteken. So Byakuya has tons of moves. And then you've got a character like Kenpachi, for example, who's not in this, but I am sure he will be. He's going to presumably take his eye patch off, probably hold his sword with 2 hands, and that's about it. Because obviously this isn't including the 1,000 Year Blood War, so I do wonder how that's going to work. I thought there was like an announcer at the start of this, but I don't think there is. I think he's just the narrator of the trailer. I like Ichigo's, entrance animation, though. That's cool. Okay, so cut down your opponent's reishi. So that's deal damage to their health. And then you can see their lives at the top there. And the bars that are like pulsing orange appear to be the lives that are on the line, perhaps. And then, so once you get someone's health down to 0, you can then do the now or never attack. So it says there soul destruction 3. Yes, so Byakuya lost 3 lives. So I don't know what the 2 bars means, because that doesn't seem to equate to his lives. Well, I think it does, though. I do like the English dub, of course. I hope there is Japanese option. I'm sure there probably will be. I will say I like the UI. I think it's very clean. As expected, Byakuya's moves look really nice. Though I do think Senbon Sakura Kageyoshi in particular needs a little more heft, a little more density to the cherry blossoms, if that makes any sense. But it does look pretty cool though. Like, and Byakuya's fighting style looks like it changes completely when he uses bankai, which makes sense, but that's interesting. So Byakuya seems to hit Ichigo with Senkei, which obliterates 4 of his Konpaku. I'm kind of wondering if the transformation is a forced thing. So what I mean by that is the person playing as Ichigo has no choice but to activate Bankai when he gets down to this many lives left, perhaps. Because it seems to me like it is not connected to the special moves they have at the bottom of the screen, the spiritual pressure gauge. And then at the very end here, of course, we get the tease of Ichigo's inner hollow. Of course, that shot of Ichigo bringing down his mask is not from Ichigo versus Byakuya. That is actually, I believe, as long as my memory serves me, that is from the first time he faces off against Ulquiorra, I think. No, that's not right. No, it's not. Maybe it's against Grimmjow. Either way, it's from the Arrancar arc. Yeah, once again, another small tease of the Arrancar arc. As far as teases go, this trailer seems to be fairly light on them, but there is definitely something going on with that blue vein at the start. Yeah, which is exciting. I don't know what that means, really. Okay, we're not going to watch the trailer again. We're just going to kind of go through it this time. I love these story mode cinematics. You know, if you can play through basically the entirety of the first major arcs up until the end of the Arrancar arc like this, A, they have tons, and I mean tons they have yet to show, and B, it is all going to look like fantastically good, hopefully. Obviously, there's Rukia departing for the Soul Society. We saw there was a shot on the website where Kisuke finds Ichigo. Then we get to... So, Zangetsu's monologue here is from the Kenpachi fight in the Soul Society arc. I'm not entirely sure what that... This is probably when Ichigo is in the Shattered Shaft with Kisuke. Unless that whole thing is just a fancy, like, victory animation for Ichigo, where he grabs the ribbon, it turns into Zangetsu, maybe. Now, see, that's a nice little reference, I think, as well. That shot where... Ichigo's entrance animation where he stabs his blade into the ground and places his hand on it, that is... Yeah, I think it's a reference to a chapter cover during the fight with Byakuya where he is standing there with his hand on his sword. And of course, I think he does that as well when he tells Byakuya to use his Bankai against him, but either way, it's a nice reference. I am so excited for the character roster. I can't wait to see who's in it. And I do feel like if it's going to be based on transformations, then... that's going to make it difficult for certain characters to be in the game. But like I said, I think you can reasonably create a system for every character, or virtually every character. Like Orihime can use a different style shield or something, just make something up basically. But if they're being, really faithful, they might not want to do that. Chad is doable because he has his original arm, then he gets the shield arm, then he gets the left arm of the devil, so that's absolutely fine. Uryu again, different bows, ending in Let's Steal. So those guys are fine. It's mostly Orihime that I think is in potential trouble. Ichigo appears to be using some kind of Kido shield there. I think that's probably going to be the generic shield that people have. Let's just start this trailer. Not the trailer again, but the fight scene again. So, cut down your opponent's reishi. So that's, yeah. At the start of this fight, both of their reverse action gauges, whatever that is, are, like, on fire. But I don't think they can actually use it, though, can they? Maybe they can. So Ichigo has... Okay, hold on a sec. So there's two gauges at the bottom of the screen for each character, the spiritual pressure gauge and the reverse gauge. The spiritual pressure gauge, I think, looking at this, gives you access to a couple of special abilities. Ichigo's right now are all-out slash and wielding, whatever the hell that means. And then his reverse abilities are reverse action, which... I don't know if that's some kind of counter, maybe, and Flash Step, which is presumably designed to get him out of a dangerous situation. So yeah, Byakuya, cutting down your opponent's reishi decreases your opponent's Konpaku. So Ichigo unleashes his ultimate move and destroys several of Byakuya's Konpaku. So Byakuya loses some lives. Now, a little thing comes on the screen on Byakuya's side saying evolution. I don't know if that means he has to now evolve. And why can he suddenly do that? Because his bar appears to be the same as Ichigo's? Is that just because he's lost lives? I think it might be. So that's what's happening here. Now Byakuya turns the tide of battle. Spiritual pressure move. Okay, so here, Byakuya's spiritual pressure moves, as designated by his spiritual power gauge, are Seal, Senbon Zakura, and That Won't Touch Me. Presumably a defensive ability and presumably an offensive one. Yeah, so you accumulate spiritual pressure while attacking, and then you unleash a special spiritual pressure move. So every character presumably has a couple of special moves that can be released throughout the battle as you accumulate power. This reverse action thing is a lot more intriguing to me because I'm less certain about what it is. He just says you can also activate reverse action while attacking and defending, so I don't know what that is. Byakuya seems to like glow red while that's happening. I mean, I think reverse action is like the flash step and stuff, right? So while he has reverse action active, perhaps he can dodge better. So Byakuya uses Senbon Zakura to wipe out 3 of Ichigo's lives, and then Byakuya uses Bankai. So I don't know if that's something he's just able to do, or if the game forces that upon him. Oh, okay, right, yes. So earlier, when it came up saying evolution, there is a gauge under your player 1, player 2 sign. That is what lets you transform to your next stage. So there's quite a few gauges to take note of. You've got your health bar, you've got your evolution gauge, you've got your spiritual power gauge, you've got your reverse action gauge. But again, I think they may have managed to make it all look quite neat, to be honest. I think it looks pretty cool. Again, like, I'm no fighting game expert, but I think I'm actually quite impressed by how in-depth it appears to be. I like that the mechanics seem to be well thought out, and they seem to be tailored to Bleach's style. Spectacle, flashiness, cool moves, awesome looking abilities, cinematic fighting. I feel like they're kind of nailing that. Again, though, I do think this is obviously a story mode fight, which is where all the cutscenes are coming from. I'm impressed, actually. I'm impressed, and I remain optimistic that this game is actually going to be pretty good. I like that it looks like there is a fair bit of thought being put into how you fight, and it's not just a mindless hack and slash. So yeah, I'm really excited. I think it looks really, really cool. Would I have liked maybe a little more out of that trailer? Yeah, probably. Some extra characters would have been nice. But for now, I think that's pretty awesome. So to kind of sum it all up, I think the way this works is each player starts out with 9 Konpaku, or lives each. And it's your goal to wipe out every single life your opponent has. As you fight, you build up several different meters. There is the spiritual power gauge, which allows you to use one of a couple of individual abilities that I don't think necessarily change the tide of the battle, but they allow you to deal some serious damage, like with Ichigo and Byakuya. They had their own powers. Byakuya seemed to be Senbon Zakura, for example. There's a reverse action gauge, which allows you, I think, to use something that will help you counter your opponent, whether that's a flash step to avoid a combo or something like that. That one I'm less certain about. Then there's the evolution gauge at the top that allows you to transform and reach your next stage and bring down your opponent's Konpaku with every kind of stylish finishing move that you use. Once you get your opponent's reishi or health down to 0, you get the now or never moment that allows you to kind of deal that finishing blow that will wipe out a select number of their lives. Seems fairly straightforward to me, unless I'm missing something, which is absolutely possible. But yeah, I think it looks really, really awesome. I think they're doing a really cool job of incorporating the dynamism of Bleach fights, of making them look cinematic. I think they're doing a great job of almost incorporating the back and forth nature of Bleach fights as well, allowing both sides to have a chance at turning the tides and flipping the switch on their opponent. I think all of that sounds and looks really fantastic, and I'm very excited, and I think the visuals continue to impress as well. So yeah, I think that's it for the Bleach Rebirth of Souls gameplay overview trailer. We had a live reaction where we watched the trailer for the first time, then a couple more times, and then we kind of tried to break it down between us. But of course, do please let me know in the comments if there's anything I've missed, if there are any comparisons to other well-known fighters that you're particularly excited about. I would love to to hear all of that down in the comments below. And as with last time, which characters do you want to see the very most in this game? I do think, as with the last trailer, they absolutely hinted at going fairly far into the Arrancar arc. The last trailer in particular showed Kisuke using Juzu Tsunagi, which is an ability he uses against Aizen, so that would imply they are going all the way to the very end. And what is the deal with what appears to be a Blut teaser at the start of this trailer? I'm not sure about that one at all. That's very, very intriguing. Like I said, I don't think there's going to be 1000-year Blood War content in this game, but I would happily take, like, Yuha Bark just appearing as a guest character in the base roster, for example. But regardless, let me know all of your thoughts down in the comments below. Thank you so much for joining me. I really hope you enjoyed the video, as always. And as always, I want to end the video by giving a massive shout out and saying a huge thank you to my wonderful supporters over on Patreon. I really do appreciate each and every one of you so, so very much, and I frankly couldn't do this without you. If you too want to support me over on Patreon because you love what I do here on YouTube, thank you. You can do just that by visiting the link in the description. Supporting me for $1 a month will get your name in the credits of every single video I release just like this. And by supporting me at $2 or higher, you can get every video I release absolutely free of baked-in YouTube ads. Alright guys, but until next time, I'll catch you later, and I'll see you then.